I went on a date the other day. We went foraging in a forest because I had written in my profile that I get bored with typical date stuff. But it turns out poisonous and non-poisonous mushrooms look pretty similar, so we ended up just sitting on either side of a rotting tree trunk, crawling with ants, and just talking. He said, "So what's your story?" And I felt a murderous rage rise up in me, but that's pretty typical for me on dates. So I just picked up an acorn and rolled it around in my hands and told him the course outline version of myself. Work in an office, bike to and from work every day, knit for mental health and manual dexterity, go to church on Sundays, and he thought that was quaint. The going to church part. I didn't know anyone in New York was still religious. He scoffed. So at that point, I pretended that I had accidentally swallowed the acorn and I had to go home right away. And then when I did get home, I swallowed one on purpose because God doesn't like liars. It passed through me right away, no problem, in case that's useful for future reference. And then the next day, I got a text from him telling me he didn't feel a spark and he wasn't going to ask me out on a second date. And he asked if I wanted to know why. And I didn't reply. And then he says, "I just think it's weird that you go to church. Plus the huge sweatshirt dress isn't exactly a turn on. You should try something sexier." Oh, and then he writes, "I know you said it was a cooling mask, but I don't think that you're supposed to wear those outside." Yeah, I wore this. I don't know. I guess too much is not enough doesn't always apply. That's actually not the most interesting discovery from the date, albeit I suppose it is a useful one. What is interesting is that while he and I were sitting there on the rotting tree trunk with the ants crawling all over it, I had a realization that I wanted, in a deeply sexual way, to be hanging out with my coworker, Beth. And I thought, whoa, that's a new thought. And this is right about when I pretended to have swallowed the acorn, and then I went home and I prayed on it. And in my prayer, I said, "God, if this is your righteous path for me, let Beth come to me in my dream tonight. Let her tell me through you whether the righteous path involves the two of us, including perhaps our naked breasts." And then I put on my indoor only cooling mask and I went to bed. At first I dreamed about the regular stuff, teeth falling out, being chased by a boogeyman, showing up naked to church, taking a test, but every time you bubble in one answer, another one disappears, getting chased by a dog, but it's your grandma, trying to run from a murderer, but your feet can't move because they're teeth. But then, right at the end, just before I wake up,
I think cooling masks can be worn anywhere. I find them alluring. Have I told you about that time I wore a cooling mask for 78 days straight? Best of times. To parties, to christenings, to book signings. So many book signings. The 75th birthday of an Arabian prince. Another book signing. And I never sweat a drop.
I can't argue with that, can I? I'm really looking forward to getting some burnt coffee with powdered creamer from the break room today. I'm really really looking forward to it.